Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to SS Express Media with Uzal Hussain. I shall discuss about IELTS reading, true, false, not given masterclass. SS Express Media video title, true false not given for IELTS learn once, remember for lifetime. English Confidence Pro. 1. IELTS reading, true, false, not given, Band 8.0 plus strategy. Speaker. Do you know what the absolute biggest nightmare is for most IELTS test takers? It is, without a doubt, true, false, not given. When students walk out of the exam hall, they might feel okay about listening or writing, but the reading section leaves almost everyone completely confused. Specifically, that incredibly thin line between false and not given is where thousands of students hit a wall. Watching their target band 7 drop down to a 5.5, does this happen to you? You can easily find the true answers, but the moment you look at false and not given, your brain goes into overdrive thinking. Well, it could be this, but maybe it's that. If your answer is yes, then today's video is going to be genuinely life-changing for you. Take a close look at our title today. Learn once, remember for a lifetime. I am not exaggerating. Today, I am going to teach you 3 golden rules and a definitive logical filter. Once you master these, you will be able to solve any true, false, not given question in any IELTS reading passage with 100% accuracy and 0 doubts. Welcome back to SS Express Media and our special series English Confidence Pro. If you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the bell notification. On this channel, we break down IELTS and English learning into simple, practical, and crystal clear steps. Grab a notebook and a pen, because we are about to unlock the biggest mystery of IELTS reading. Let's get started. 2. The core mindset and the 3 golden rules. Visual. Transition to a split screen or digital whiteboard view where you can write or display text clearly as you speak. Speaker. Before we even look at a reading passage, we need to fix our mindset. Why does IELTS include this question type? Yes, it tests your English reading comprehension, but more than that, it tests your logical thinking. The biggest mistake students make is using their own common sense or outside knowledge. Remember this rule and never forget it. In IELTS reading, you know absolutely nothing outside the text. Whatever is written in the passage is the ultimate truth. If the passage explicitly states that the sun rises in the west, you must accept it as a fact for the duration of the test. Do not bring your real-world logic into this. With that mindset ready, let's lock these 3 golden rules into our minds. Rule number 1. The meaning matcher, not just word matcher. Many students think that if the words in the question match the words in the passage perfectly, the answer must be true. That is a massive trap. Cambridge examiners do not play a game of matching words, they play a game of matching meaning. The question will almost always be paraphrased using synonyms. Look for the core meaning, not the exact words. Rule number 2. The false rule, direct contradiction. A statement is false if and only if the information in the question 100% directly contradicts the information in the passage. In simpler terms, if the passage tells you to go right, the question tells you to go left. You can only mark an answer as false if you can point directly to the text and prove the question wrong. Rule number 3. The not given rule, the missing information. This is where the confusion peaks. Listen closely. The passage might talk about the general topic mentioned in the question, but if the specific claim or extra detail made by the question cannot be confirmed or disproven by the text, it is instantly not given. You simply do not have enough evidence to say if it is true or false. Let's look at a clear framework to see exactly how this works. The ultimate framework table. If the text says, and the question says, the answer is, why? The school was built in 1990. The school was constructed in 1990. TAUE. The meaning matches perfectly. Built equals constructed. The school was built in 1990. The school was constructed in 2005. FLSE. The fact directly contradicts the text, 1990 vs 2005. The school was built in 1990. The school was the most expensive in the city. Not given. We know when it was built, but the text gives no information about the cost. Speaker. Take a screenshot of this table or write it down. Look closely at the 3rd row. The text says the school was built in 1990, but the question claims it was the most expensive. Students often think, well, a school built back then must have been expensive. Stop guessing. Because the passage provides 0 proof about the cost, The answer is strictly not given. Now, let's learn how to identify the classic traps Cambridge examiners set up to catch you off guard. We call these the trap words or modifiers. 3. Mastering the trap words or modifiers. Visual. Highlight keywords on screen with red text or yellow highlighter as you mention them. Speaker. If you are just casually skimming through sentences without paying attention to structural words, you are making a huge mistake. You must pay attention to quantifiers and adverbs of frequency. These tiny words can change the entire meaning of a sentence instantly. Let's look at the 3 biggest traps. Trap 1. All versus. Some or many or most. This is a favorite trick of the examiners. Imagine the passage says, most students pass the exam. Then, the question states, all students pass the exam. If you are reading too fast and just look at students pass the exam, you will confidently write true and lose a point. Most does not mean all. Because the question overstates the fact and contradicts the limits set by the text, the answer is false. Trap 2. Certainty versus probability. Pay close attention to modal verbs. The passage might use words that indicate possibility, like can, may, might, could, or possible. However, the question might switch these to words of absolute certainty, such as will, must, definitely, or always. For example, if the text says, global warming might cause the extinction of polar bears, and the question says, global warming will definitely destroy all polar bears, the passage presents a strong possibility, but the question turns it into an absolute guarantee. The meanings do not match, so the answer is false. Trap 3. The time and location. Traps. A text might mention that an event took place in the 18th century, which means the years 1701 to 1800. The question might state the event happened after 1800. Missing a tiny detail like a date boundary will throw your answer completely off. Let's put these rules into practice right now with real, Cambridge level reading examples so you can see exactly how to apply them under pressure. 4. Deep dive practical examples and step by step solving. Visual. Transition to a clean document view. Display example 1 text clearly. Use your digital pen to underline keywords as explained in the script. The strategy setup. Speaker. Whenever you face a reading passage, always read the questions first, not the passage. By reading the question first, we look for unique keywords, names, dates, numbers, or specialized technical terms that are difficult to paraphrase. We will use these keywords as a map to locate our answer in the text. Example 1. The Polar Expedition. Text segment. The 1912 expedition to the South Pole, led by Captain Robert Scott, aimed to be the first to reach the pole. However, due to severe weather conditions and equipment failure, the team arrived 34 days after Roald Amundsen's Norwegian team had already planted their flag. Question 1. Captain Robert Scott's team was the first to reach the South Pole in 1912. Speaker. Let's solve this step by step. First, let's isolate our unique keywords in the question. Captain Robert Scott, first to reach, and 1912. Now, we use our eyes to scan the text for these words. Right in the first line of our text, we see 1912 expedition and Captain Robert Scott. Our location is confirmed. Now, let's evaluate the meaning. The question claims, Captain Scott's team was the first to reach the pole. Now, let's carefully read what the text actually says. It says their goal was to be first, aimed to be the first, but because of bad weather and equipment failure, they arrived 34 days after Amundsen's team had already planted their flag. This means Captain Scott's team was not first, they were second. Because the statement in the question directly contradicts the facts given in the text, our answer is unequivocally false. Example 2. The tea trade in Europe. Text segment. When tea was first introduced to Europe in the early 17th century, it was an expensive luxury item imported exclusively from China, meaning only the wealthy aristocracy could afford to consume it on a regular basis. Question 2. In the early 17th century, tea was regularly drank by ordinary European citizens. Speaker. Let's move on to our second example. First step, underline the keywords in the question. Early 17th century, regularly drank, and ordinary European citizens. Scanning the text, we find early 17th century and tea right at the beginning. Let's analyze the details. The question states that ordinary European citizens drank tea regularly. Looking closely at the text, it says tea was an expensive luxury item and that only the wealthy aristocracy could afford to drink it regularly. Let's use simple logic. The question says average, ordinary people drank it, while the text explicitly states only the ultra-wealthy elite could afford it. These two concepts completely oppose each other. Therefore, the answer is structurally false. Example 3. The Roman Empire and concrete. Text segment. The The Romans transformed architecture through the widespread use of concrete, which allowed them to construct massive domes and aqueducts throughout their empire. Some historians believe that the secret ingredient in Roman concrete was volcanic ash, which reacted with slaked lime to create an incredibly durable material. Question 3. Volcanic ash was the most expensive component used in making Roman concrete. Speaker, you pay very close attention to this third example, because this highlights the exact trap that ruins scores for thousands of students. Let's pick out our keywords from the question. Volcanic ash, most expensive component, and Roman concrete. Scanning our text, we easily locate volcanic ash and Roman concrete in the second sentence. Let's read that sentence thoroughly. The text states, some historians believe the secret ingredient was volcanic ash, which mixed with slaked lime to create an incredibly durable material. Now look back at the question. The question makes a very specific claim. Volcanic ash was the most expensive component. Ask yourself honestly, does the text say anything at all about the price, cost, or financial value of volcanic ash? The text tells us it was a secret, and it tells us it made the concrete durable. But whether it was cheap, expensive, or completely free is never mentioned anywhere in the passage. Do not try to guess or assume that a secret ingredient must have cost a fortune. Because the text does not contain the necessary information to confirm or deny the price, the correct answer must be not given. 5. Advanced tips for speed and accuracy. Visual. Change camera angle back to you looking at the viewer. Bring up bullet points on screen as you explain each tip. Speaker, now that you understand the basic mechanics and logic, let me share 3 advanced insider tips to drastically improve your speed and precision during the actual exam. Tip 1. The chronological order rule in IELTS reading. True, false, not given questions always follow the order of the text. This means if you find the answer to question 1 in paragraph 2, and the answer to question 3 in paragraph 4, the answer to question 2 must be located somewhere between them. If you look at that middle space and find absolutely no mention of the claim, it is a massive indicator that the answer is likely not given. Tip 2. Do not overthink when you sit down in an exam hall. Anxiety makes you look for hidden meanings that simply aren't there. IELTS is a direct test. Do not read between the lines. If the meaning matches, it's true. If it says the opposite, it's false. If the information isn't there, it's not given. Keep your thought process simple and factual. Tip 3. Answer sheet precision. Always check the exact instructions on your paper. If it tells you to write true or false, do not write just T or F unless the instructions explicitly permit it. Write out the full word, preferably in clear capital letters, to ensure the examiner reads it correctly with zero ambiguity. 6. Summary and actionable steps. Visual. A beautiful summary infographic appears on the screen detailing the exact workflow for the student. Speaker, to summarize everything we covered in this masterclass, let's condense it into a clear, visual action plan that you can apply every time you practice. The IELTS reading step-by-step workflow. 1. Read the question first. Step 1. Analyze the question statement thoroughly to completely grasp its core meaning before looking at the passage. Point 2. Identify unique keywords. Step 2. Underline names, dates, numbers, or technical terms that cannot easily be hidden by paraphrasing. Point 3. Scan for the location. Step 3. Quickly move your eyes across the text to locate the specific paragraph where your keywords appear. Point 4. Apply the logical filter. Step 4. Read the local text sentences deeply and compare the exact claim of the question with the exact facts of the text. Point 5. To make the final decision. Step 5. Mark true if the meanings match, false if they directly contradict, and not given if the key information is missing. Point 7. Speaker, the ultimate key to mastering IELTS reading is consistent, correct practice. Take the techniques we broke down today and try applying them to an official Cambridge practice book right away. I guarantee you will see your confusion drop instantly. If this video helped clear your doubts, please give it a like and leave a comment below letting me know. Do you feel more confident tackling true, false, not given questions now? Your feedback drives us to keep creating high-quality, free educational content. Don't forget to share this video with your friends who are studying for their IELTS. We will see you in the next episode of English Confidence Pro right here on SS Express Media. Until next time, keep practicing, stay focused, and believe in yourself. If you target high, you will achieve high. Stay tuned, stay confident. Goodbye.